gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Come on, man. Thanks for having us.
As always, great to see you guys.
Always.
So I want to talk about growing up first. I think, I was re-listening to Lord Willing on the train coming down here from New York today, and it struck me that your grandmother is one of the most sort of important characters, especially on those first couple songs on the album. And so I'm curious, just sort of like, how did your exposure to her frame how you thought about the world?
I think I could say my grandmother, Jessie McCrae, she was known to us and to the family as always having and wanting and exposing us to like the finer things in life. Now they may have been ill-gotten gains, but she introduced us to money and cars, and these are things that you should have and you should want for yourself. So she definitely instilled in us like a certain kind of drive.
Okay. And how was that juxtaposed with your parents, who I know were much more sort of buttoned up professionals?
I always think about like my childhood in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and when I get to like the summer and I go visit my grandmother in the Bronx, it was like, man, that was like my freedom. Like my grandmother was like, oh, go run to the store, go run get pizza. My parents were like, nah, we in the South and don't leave too far because we don't know what's going on out here for real. So, it was, I always looked at my grandmother as like the, just like my rites of like passage to do any and everything.
Okay.
My grandmother was actually like younger than my parents.
Yeah.
So she was one of those kind of grandmothers.
Okay. And where was it that you first fell in love with music? Was that in the Bronx when you guys would go visit her?
For me, definitely in the Bronx. I have an older brother, and he was always into hip hop, break dancing. I can recall just watching him from the terrace downstairs. We lived on the 27th floor, and he and his friends would be, on cardboard break dancing with the boombox, and I just always admired that.
Okay, and yourself?
Probably just from my brother. Oh, no, for sure. Whatever my brother was into, I was trying to be a part of. Had a sister as well that worked at a record shop. Whatever, he loved, she would get him and he'd play it, and, I'm just following suit.
Well, to that, brothers can often either sort of mirror each other or end up going in sort of opposite directions. I'm curious, what was your relationship like, as children?
Well, I'm almost 5 years older than Pusha.
Okay.
So, whatever I was into, which was definitely music, I just love hip hop so much. And, I always enjoyed introducing Pusha to like why this guy was hot, or why this guy, was not that good, and just telling him about, lyric driven hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And I just put him on to it, and he just like took right after. I told him Hammer was better than Rakim one day. And I had to sit down and listen to a whole explanation of entertainment versus lyricism.
So, Malice, I know that you started making songs probably in the junior high school